Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to write slope-intercept equations from graphs and tables. This video will specifically look at graphs, and then your second video will look at tables. So here we go. When we're looking at graphs, this is our process at the top. Find the slope, which we've already done, change in y divided by change in x. And then you find the y-intercept, which is the y-coordinate where the graph crosses the y-axis. And then you write the equation. It's slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. M is your slope. B is your y-intercept. That is why it is slope-intercept form. Okay. All right. So let's look at this. And I'm using Cami so that you guys can see like what that process is. Okay. So I chose drawing. All right. So first we need to find the slope. So slope. I'm looking for 2 points that I can name. So I look and I say, hey, I can name this point, that's -5, and then I'm at -1 for y. And then I can name this point, right, that's 0 for x, and then we went up 3, okay? So I have my 2 points, so I stack them, and then I find the changes, okay? Change in y, so I went from -1 to 3, -1 to 3, that's +4. And then I find the change in x. Okay, -5 to 0, that's +5. So change in y divided by change in x is going to be 4 over 5. And then I could use Desmos, type in 4/5 and make sure that that's simplified. I know that it is. So this is my slope. Okay, those are my driving directions. It tells me how I get from point to point on my line. Okay, then we have to find the y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept is just the y-coordinate where the graph crosses the y-axis. Okay, so I'm looking at my graph here, this line, and where it crosses is right here. Sweet, I already used that. This is my y-intercept. Okay, the y-coordinate there is 3, so my y-intercept is 3. Okay, if I know that, then I know my equation because it's y equals slope times x plus the y-intercept. Y equals slope times x plus the intercept. Okay, so let's write it. Y equals the slope, 4/5, times x plus the y-intercept. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it, okay? All right, let's try one more. All right. So first thing that I want is the slope. So find my 2 points that I can name. So I see this point, -2, we're at 4. And then I see I could use this point. Okay, that's 0 and I'm at -2. Okay, so I'm going to stack my points. So -2, 4, 0, -2. Then find how does it change. Okay, I went from 4 and now I'm at -2. So I went down 4 and then down 2 more. So that was -6. Okay. Then I find my change in x. I went from -2 to 0. So I added 2. -2 plus 2 is 0. Okay. So we do change in y divided by change in x. It's going to give me -6 over 2. Now I plug that into Desmos and I'm going to find out that that simplifies to -3. Okay, so there's my slope. Sweet. Okay, now we go find our y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis. So looking at my graph, and there's my y-intercept. Okay, so that's the y-coordinate there is -2. Once I have that, I'm ready for my equation. Y and x always stay in the equation. M and b are going to become numbers. So y equals the slope, so -3, times x plus the y-intercept, which is -2. And there's my equation. Okay, that's how you do slope-intercept form from graphs. Find the slope, change in y divided by change in x. Then find your y-intercept. Where does it cross the y-axis? What's that y-coordinate? And then put it all together.